58-0. I mean, I don't know, man. Where do we go that where the ground hadn't already been plowed? Wait, I know. We got good news, perhaps, about our friend Richard Sherman.
Potentially.
Why don't we go there? Now, we'll find out on the 14th whether or not this is true, because the NFL does not talk about these sorts of things, but Adam Schefter has tweeted that Richard Sherman has got himself an attorney, and he is doing his best to fight this thing, delay this thing, to actually have it happen next year versus this year, which I think, speaking for you, and we both think would be great news for the Seahawks if he can delay this till next year, play the rest of this year, be joined by Browner in the playoffs, and you actually have the full Legion of Boom going into the postseason, as opposed to worrying about what might happen next year.
Yeah, I think you saw just how valuable Richard Sherman is yesterday in that game against Larry Fitzgerald. Now, granted, he didn't have a quarterback who could get him the ball, but you essentially have a shutdown guy. He's going to eliminate or really impede the progress of the best receiver of the opposite team. So you got Browner out for the rest of the season, so now you're looking at the Bills, the 49ers, and the Rams, who have much more, they have many more things to worry about, I guess.
Sure.
They have quarterbacks who can complete passes, unlike the Cardinals. So you don't want to be minus both guys. You know, we saw Thurman, we saw Maxwell, we saw Lane, but you saw them against an extremely limited offense. So you don't know how much of what we saw was them playing really well or the Cardinals just sucking out loud.
Well, the other thing about Sherman, too, is he is the beating heart of that defense right now. If you want to talk about a guy who really does kind of embody the whole thing, the approach, what Pete Carroll is trying, it includes having the swag and being confident and being mouthy and talking, but I think the entire defense feeds off him, and this is not any sort of negative at all against Brandon Browner, but I think right now, especially with a young team playing on emotion to a degree, and that was quite an emotional win to just blow a team out like that. Boy, I think Sherman is really important for reasons just beyond football. He kind of gives them their identity a little bit, and it's a pretty tough, swaggering identity when he's out on the field.
Absolutely. He's a difference maker. That's what he's become, is a difference maker on the field. Maybe he at one point becomes a Charles Woodson type of guy or a Revis type of guy where you got teams moving away from him, looking for other avenues to succeed. But he's a guy you want. You're making a playoff push right now. The debate as to whether should we get it out of the way now, would you rather he serve his suspension now versus the beginning of the next season? Next season. This is the playoff run right now, and you're down one guy. You need him, so hopefully he's able to delay the process.
You need Richard Sherman to win, period.